And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to helping you live a better life. Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you be your number one consumer advocate here, helping all those in real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, and so much more. Intelligent talk radio, ways that we can help you live a better life. We want you to save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it, 813-670-7372. And consumerqb.com, a plethora of information available for you on our website at consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors. We have a lot of contact information there, and you can watch our television show version, our live stream version of our show at consumerqb.com. And we want to give a shout out to our official restaurant partner, which is Brio Tuscan Grill at the International Plaza here in Tampa. Brio Tuscan Grill, they have a special going on for our followers of our show, our fans of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All you have to do is go in and mention the Consumer Quarterback Show, and you're going to get a free appetizer. They've got some great apps over at Brio Tuscan Grill, and they'll also throw in that free water with lemon that we joke about as well. So Brio Tuscan Grill, our restaurant partner at the International Plaza. We really appreciate Brio. Go support the team over there at Brio Tuscan Grill. And we've got in studio today, we've got Todd Hassie representing Team Hennessey. Welcome back in, Todd.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. What are we going to talk about today?
Mortgage financing 101. Anything related to it.
Nice. I like that. So, yeah, we'll jump into some investor loans, some different types of ways that we can help folks out there, VA, all types of different products available through Team Hennessey here in Tampa Bay. Doing a great job with a lot of our listeners out there that we've referred over. They do a great job as well. And let's on the phones, we got a special guest here today. He's an author, New York Times best-selling author, and also appeared in the movie The Secret. James Arthur Ray, welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Hey, Brandon. Thanks for having me.
Hey, my pleasure. Absolutely. So you're a performance advisor and consultant. You hit the Inc. 500 back in 2009, and your New York Times bestseller, Harmonic Wealth, has changed a lot of people's lives. So let's give our listeners a little overview of how you help people.
Well, my primary focus, Brandon, is on leadership. And I really believe that we, at no time in my life anyway, have needed more true leaders than we do right now. And the leaders that I am talking about lead both their life and their business. I don't separate the two. I see them both as integrally interconnected, and both of them are absolutely necessary. You can't have one without the other. Leadership as well is not about just followers or position or title or any of those things. It's about being committed to a cause that's much bigger than our own creature comforts, something bigger than us. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, and it kind of comes down to the why. What's the why, the driving force in people's lives? And once they find that, that's going to help them find their path.
Well, I call that your powerful transforming purpose, or PTP for short. And, Brandon, I've been really blessed. I've worked with over 1 million people from 145 different countries around the world. And I say blessed, literally. I mean, I'm very grateful. I've been, afforded a lot of great opportunities. I've worked really hard to make that happen. But nonetheless, the single most common question asked of me as I've worked around the globe is not, how do I grow my business? How do I make more money? How do I find my soulmate? Whatever the hell that means. but yeah, right. I could go off on a tangent on that one. I won't. But nonetheless, the single most common question is, what's my purpose? What's the purpose of life? Why am I here? What's the meaning of life, or some derivation thereof? And the fact is, most people haven't got a clue.
Right.
And our traditional school system has totally failed us because it's conditioned us to follow the market and the money versus to find the meaning. So if you're in that boat today as a listener, it's not your fault. It is your responsibility, though. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. And, you know, if you want to live a fulfilling life, you need to really take the time to stop and recognize, particularly in this incredibly disruptive market in which we're living and moving and doing business within, what your purpose is and why you're here, because that will continually move you forward far beyond any kind of monetary or business goal.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You when you think about, where's people's minds today in the media, you've got the constant negative news networks out there that are, flooding Americans with, the geopolitical things. And then, of course, now with the school shootings, what's some of your strategies or what's some tips maybe you could give to our listeners and our viewers of our TV show on, what's a step 1, step 2 type scenario for them to live a better life and kind of block out some of that stuff?
Well, step 1 is don't turn on the news.
Right.
And that, people say to me, well, James, I have to be informed. Yeah, you have to be informed, but you don't have to be inundated. And there's a lot of great minds. I don't know if you're familiar with Peter Diamandis.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
With Singularity University, I was with him several months back, and he too said, I just refuse to watch the news because the news is not really new.
Right.
It's certainly not new. I mean, if you watch CNN or Fox or whatever, about every 30 minutes it's just regurgitating the same old stuff, and then you come back 5 days later and it's just a different panel still regurgitating the same old stuff.
That's right.
I mean, here's a couple of things, Brandon, that we're not going to ever hear about. There are more people committing suicide right now on our planet than there are dying from war, terrorism, and crime combined.
Yes.
Now, why is it that we're not talking about this big problem, this big issue?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because it doesn't sizzle as much and it doesn't cause as much fear. More people die from peanut allergies every year than die from terrorism. So, I could go on. I won't. I'll reel it back. But
yeah.
But the fact is, there is a methodology to the madness to keep you in constant disempowerment and fear. And part of leadership is to take your power back and to kind of look at the facts. I mean, there's a lot of great things going on in the world, but great things don't sell for whatever reason. Now, why is that, Brandon? Because if great things sold, then the news would be feeding us what we wanted. And they are feeding us what we wanted. So we have no one to blame but ourselves.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's it's a push-pull type scenario. They look at where you click. Of course, when you're online, the catchy headline of, what happened with, Paris Hilton's, whatever, all these different scenarios, right? You see the clickbait that's online. And then every time we click, we're feeding the fire of, the ridiculous media and how that plays out. By the way, if you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. I'm a top real estate agent here in Tampa Bay, published speaker and professional speaker as well. Published author, professional speaker, that is. And James Arthur Ray has joined us on the phone lines here. He's a New York Times bestseller. Harmonic Wealth is a great book that he has, and he's also on the Inc. 500 list. In 2009, hit the list there. But yeah, so kind of a phase 2 then. So once you have the ideas, you start phasing out some of that news. You control your thoughts a little bit more. You focus on what you do want to attract. You got to have a strategy behind it too, James. Right?
Well, everybody wants a strategy, and the strategy, quite frankly, let me back up because I've had a lot of marketing people on my team over the years, and marketing folks in today's market are constantly saying people want tactics, but tactics are how-tos. A strategy is really more than a how-to. And the primary driving strategy, and one of the things I'm going to be talking about quite a bit at the Tampa Wealth Summit this weekend, is self-awareness. Now, again, that's stunning and shocking to most entrepreneurs, and about 95% of the clients I work with, both one-on-one as well as in business consulting, are entrepreneurs or high-level, CEOs and leaders of business. But nonetheless, self-awareness is something that most of us don't have.
Right.
And therefore, that's why Gallup poll tells us that 71% of the people surveyed, Brandon, are disenchanted, disengaged, and totally unfulfilled and unhappy in their work because they don't know who they are. And again, I'll go back to the school system, and I'm not here to flog the school system, but realistically, how many of us learned a whole hell of a lot to be successful in the world in school? We didn't.
Right.
And we were never taught to take the time. Howard Gardner from Harvard University says our school systems are completely dysfunctional unless you want to be a professor in math or English.
Right.
And so, what I do with the clients I work with is help them develop self-awareness, and we practice what I call beginning at the beginning. I happen to believe strategically, to use your question for strategy, strategically, Brandon, every single one of us, as mystical as it may sound, has been sent to this planet on purpose. And we have a unique set of gifts, what I call your unique genius, that we have the ability to become great if we will go all in. And that's a third component. So if we're talking about turning off the news, we talk about self-awareness. The third one will be give everything. All in to what I call your magnificent obsession, your one thing.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this question, easy answer. How many horses can you ride successfully at one time?
Only one last time I tried.
Right, unless you're circus act, which we're not.
Right.
So, but what are most people attempting to do? Well, because they don't know their powerful transforming purpose, PTP, they're jumping from this glimmer to that, I'm going to be a speaker. Oh, I'm going to be an author. Oh, now I'm going to be a coach. Oh, now I'm going to be an online entrepreneur, whatever the hell that means.
Right.
Anyone who's successful in entrepreneurship, and I've worked with people making millions and billions, and they don't say none of them say I'm an online entrepreneur. They're just an entrepreneur, and maybe they use online as a particular approach, but that's just one of many prongs. But the fact is that we spend we're so inundated with distraction, and we're so inundated with the next, secret sauce, and simple success and magic bullet, that because we don't know who we are, we don't have the self-awareness, we're jumping from this to that to the other, hoping for the quick fix and the quick hit. And that's where we waste our lives.
Yeah, so many people get caught up in that get rich quick, and they want to, and then 6 months later, they're shifting gears, they're changing their tune because it didn't work, right? So they need to think about the Chinese bamboo tree and how long it takes once you plant that seed to actually see the fruits harvest, and the ability to stay on task, and what Wilfredo Pareto called the Pareto principle. You're going to break it down into the 20% of things that you're doing that are going to attribute to 80% of your success. Especially in real estate or sales, those are scenarios where, the more that you prospect, you're spending time having quality conversations with clients, that's going to lead to 80% of your success in many different places.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, the difference between the master and the amateur or the beginner is that the master has the ability to stand in the face of no results for longer.
Right.
And that takes courage, that takes resilience, that takes commitment. And that's why, Stephen Jobs said success is hard.
Right.
So therefore, find something that you love, because if you don't love it, you'll quit. I'm still quoting Jobs. If you don't love it, you'll quit like any sane person would. I love that part. Yeah. But if you love it, you won't quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, now that's kind of a two-edged sword too, Brandon, because so many people are talking about, I want to do something that I love. Does that sound like we're coming up to a break?
Yeah, let's come into a break. Can you stay with us till the flip side?
We'll leave them on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, let's stay with us. All right, stay with us here. James Arthur Ray on the other side of the break. When we come back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, we're going to also speak with Todd Hassie, representing Team Hennessey Loans as well, the loan pilots. Stay with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, everybody. I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. Giving a shout out to Mary Maid's Cleaning Service. Let Mary Maid's take care of your winter cleaning. We know clean. Leave the details to us. Welcome to your clean home. Satisfaction guaranteed by Mary Maid's Cleaning Service. Relax. It's done. They do a great job cleaning our real estate properties, and we appreciate Mary Maid's. We want you to reach out to them as well and let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and you're going to get a discount off of your services by utilizing Mary Maid's, the official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Hot real estate listing here. Platinum MVP Realty's offering out 9825 Wilski Boulevard in Tampa. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, 2 half bath, $1.5 million ultra unique and exquisite home here in Tampa Bay. Perfect for entertaining, and it's beautiful property over a nice spread here. You got a lake in the back, vacant lots on each side, so it's private and a beautiful property. And the best thing is it's just outside of West Chase. $1.5 million home just outside of West Chase. Beautiful property. No HOA or CDDs here. 9825 Wilski Boulevard in Tampa. Reach out, PlatinumMVPRealty.com. You can search all the MLS listings at PlatinumMVPRealty.com. All right, on the phones, we've got James Arthur Ray. He appeared in the movie The Secret. He's a New York Times best-selling author. Harmonic Wealth is his book. And he's also going to be speaking at the 2018 Tampa Bay Wealth Summit alongside myself, Lisa Nichols, Jay Lee, going to be there as well. That's Saturday, this Saturday coming up, the 21st, 2018. Got tickets available at WANGlobalLLC.com. So we're excited about the Tampa Bay Wealth Summit, James.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet you there live, and we got a good lineup. I think it's going to be a game changer.
Yeah, it's going to change a lot of lives, and I know that's a passion that you have is helping people understand how to apply these principles and strategies that you were talking about.
Yes, absolutely, and I think again what most of us need to recognize is that we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of our potential. I don't care. I'm assuming there's a lot of highly successful people listening today, and even if you are highly successful, I would still maintain that you haven't even begun to scratch the surface of your potential, because we have so much capabilities and power within us that it's unfathomable, really. And I know that might sound, a bit grandiose, but it's true nonetheless. I've been really blessed to climb to the pinnacle of my profession and my craft, and I've also fallen really deep into the pit and been in places where most people would think it was impossible to climb back out of, and yet here I am.
Right.
And so, I have really been gifted through a lot of pain, actually, to develop some great strategies, some resilience, and some abilities and knowledge, going back to the self-awareness piece that we were talking about of who we really are.
Right. Yeah. Why does it seem that, human beings, sometimes we need to get to that point of I can't take it anymore, to make that change,
Well, the fact is, and psychology proves this in its research, that most people don't make serious change in their life until they experience enough pain.
Right.
I mean, when you think about it, when is it that most people go on a diet or a health and fitness regime? It's when the doctor says, hey, you're going to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Not until, when do most people stop smoking? When the doctor says, hey, you got cancer. Or when do most people go in a relationship to a counselor when one partner says, hey, I'm out of here? So
right.
The fact is, it doesn't have to be that way. But pain can be an extreme teacher and purifier as well. And I say frequently that pain is the mother of all growth. Now, that's not popular with a lot of people, but, I would challenge you to go into the gym, hire a trainer, and tell him or her that you want to get in peak physical condition. You don't want to sweat, you don't want to burn, and you don't want to be out of breath.
Yeah.
And
and you don't want to be sore the next day.
Exactly. So they say, hey, don't let the door hit you on the way out. If you want to look at how to build a business, then look at what it takes to build a body, because principles are cross-contextual. It takes commitment, it takes work, and going back to what we were talking about earlier, it takes going all in and committing yourself to something bigger than your own creature comforts.
That's right. Yeah, looking at the overall big picture and finding that passion that drives you. And I've heard it said that Monday morning, the heart attack rate in this country doubles or triples because of so many people that they're dreading to go into work. They're going to work that 9 to 5 that they hate, and the heart attack rate just goes up tremendously between the hours of 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. Monday morning.
You're absolutely correct, and it's really sad.
Yeah.
I mean, life is too precious, and modern scientific and medical research tells us that we can live to at least 125 if we do everything correctly. Big if, right? And I mean, I think we now are able to 3D print a liver, and science is now telling us for every year you live, it will give you the ability to live one more year. So we've got some really great things coming down the pike, but needless, as I quoted earlier, Gallup is telling us that 71% of the people surveyed are miserable. They're that heart attack group that you're talking about. They're dragging their tired ass into a job they hate after hitting the snooze button about 4 or 5, 6, 7 times.
Yeah.
And here it even gets better than that, Brandon. They're going to a job they hate, and they're worrying all day that they're going to lose it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, what sense does that make, right? Life is too short.
Sure.
I was talking, I was doing a coaching session with a young guy a couple of weeks ago, and he's making pretty good money. He makes triple six figures, and like about $300K a year and he's in his 20s, so he's done pretty well. And I said and he was just complaining. He was miserable. He didn't enjoy what he was doing. And I said, I want to ask you a question on what you really think hard and long about the answer before you answer.
Right.
I said, if I could help you find your unique gifts and genius, and you could wake up every single morning and know that you're on point and purpose, and you're going to do something you love, and you're absolutely excited and thrilled to get out of bed and go do it. But, big but, you had to take a tremendous cut in pay.
Right.
Like down below, let's say $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
Would you do it? He's a single guy.
Yeah.
I said, would you do it? He goes, no, I don't think I would do that.
Yeah.
And I said, so what you're telling me then is that money is more important to you than your own happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
I said, well, as you think about it now, you better think about how you've been conditioned.
That's right. All right, James. James Arthur Ray, thanks so much for joining us. Come and see James speak at the 2018 Tampa Bay Wealth Summit. We appreciate you calling in.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We'll talk to you later. Take care. We'll see you Saturday. James Arthur Ray from The Secret. He's going to be at the event here this weekend. Lisa Nichols, as well as myself, speaking at the 2018 Tampa Bay Wealth Summit. Stay with us here. More from our expert contributors in studio. Todd Hassie in the house. Stay right with us. We'll be right back after a short break.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, my name is Joe Stalteri. I'm one of the owners of Complete Care Systems. At Complete Care Systems, we do carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, tile and grout sealing, wood floor and laminate floor deep cleaning, as well as stripping and waxing of linoleum and vinyl floors, and a whole lot more. We also run daily deals and special, which you can find at CompleteCareSystems.com, or simply call Tricia up at 727-364-5158, and she'll answer all your questions and give you over the phone free estimates. Or she'll send me out to your home or office to give you an on-site free estimate. At Complete Care Systems, we don't cut corners, we clean them.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, published author and professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. We'd love for you to check out a copy of our book, and we're launching the Business Growth Celebrity Academy as well, teaching people how to start their own show, grow their celebrity and sphere of influence, and really grow their business as well tremendously. So real excited about that. Check us out online, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information is available for you at consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors, the finest folks in all of Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region that we've assembled, we vetted, and we bring on the show to help you win in any marketplace. We're talking about CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys, all types of mortgage and finance experts, real estate companies as well that can help you win in any marketplace. Intelligent Talk Radio, and I don't care if you're climbing a corporate ladder or if you throw a ladder in your truck on the way to work, this show's for you. We're going to help you win. Todd Hassie here in studio with me and representing the Loan Pilots, Team Hennessey in studio. So we're going to talk mortgage. We're going to talk mortgage and real estate here. We've got the top 10 most expensive homes for sale in South Florida. We'll talk about some of those, and also looking for an affordable house. We've got the top 10 best cities for first-time home buyers here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And before we jump into this great content, I want to plug a hot listing I've got down in South St. Pete here, Northeast St. Pete, 215 12th Avenue Northeast. This is a pre-construction opportunity. Now, this property is 4 bedrooms, 5 bath, $1.4 million. Over 3,750 square feet. Now, this is a pre-construction home, and it's a SIPS panel housing. SIPS panels are those pre-constructed panels that have the hardy board on the outside with the foam on the inside. A very unique style. They're fire retardant. They're able to withstand hurricane winds. 215 12th Avenue Northeast. $1.4 million listing from Platinum MVP Realty. Check out Platinum MVPRealty.com. You can do a search there. You can search all the MLS properties. You can also do a valuation as well. Find out what the value of your home is just by going to PlatinumMVPRealty.com. All right, so Todd Hassie here in studio, and wanted to ask you maybe get some takeaways. Let's follow up to James Arthur Ray, who was on the show. What's some of the takeaways you took from that?
That was pretty enlightening. Identifying one's power transferring purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I totally embrace the fact of owning personal responsibility, identifying your errors, your routines, learn from the mistakes, in other words, and use those negative consequences at first perception as a positive, a takeaway experience, growing from it and empowering yourself to have a feeling of personal achievement out of something that seemed negative maybe in the beginning.
Yeah. And that's going to help you. That's going to help you grow by doing that. And it's going to help your self-perception, your self-concept is going to be stronger at that point.
Jim Hennessey and I just last week were talking about, staying in power, don't letting others or situations rob you of your personal power.
Right.
I mean, this was just right on target for our conversation.
Yeah, there's a proverb, I believe, a Chinese proverb that was saying something about, if someone gives you a gift and you don't accept that gift, who owns the gift?
Right.
The giver, right? The person that's holding the box still.
Of course.
So it's the same thing with emotions and what you let into your mind. And so many, problems that we see, road rage or whatever it might be, out there in the public would be avoided if people would understand that.
Don't give others that power.
That's right. Yep, because it is your power to give up. All right, so let's shift gears. Let's talk about real estate and mortgage. We're in the best market in the United States of America. Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, even lump Bradenton, Sarasota, Fort Myers, Naples into the mix. Our signal goes all the way down to Fort Myers, Naples. And we've got our friends at Sunrise Realty down there as well that work that market. But, when you look at the Tampa Bay market in general, we got the Lightning in the playoffs. We got so many positive things happening here in Tampa Bay. Man, it's just a great place to be investing money. It's a great place to be putting money, investing. And then you also look at the economic side, the impact of the jobs, the infrastructure, and just everything that we're doing on a technological side as well.
We're lending nationwide. And I'll tell you, the bang for your dollar and what you can buy in Florida compared to across the country, it's basically getting double for what you can get, saying actually triple for what you can buy in California.
Yeah, absolutely. And then some people say, "Oh, well, I can buy, $150,000 in Alabama will get me, 5 acres." And I say, "Yeah, but you walk out the door and you're in Alabama,
Right?
you're not at the beach.
It's
you're
not the
in
Sunshine
Clearwater."
State, sir.
That's right. So speaking of that, let's talk about this. So we've got the top 10 best cities for first-time home buyers, and guess who's ranking number 2 on that list? Tampa Bay. So you got Tampa, Florida at $183,000. So these are based on the top 10 best markets for first-time home buyers, and based on a certain website I don't like, value index for each. So you've got Orlando coming in at number 1, $202,000. Tampa, Florida. You've got Indianapolis, Indiana's on the list, Las Vegas, San Antonio, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Detroit, Dallas, and Cleveland rounding out the top 10. So, boom, right there it is.
And if you really want a savings analysis, if you own already there, feel free to give me a call. I can do anything in any of those states.
Yeah, reach out to our hotline, by the way, Consumer Advocate Hotline, 813-670-7372, 813-670-7372, and, of course, that's 670-REQB for the acronym there. But, so, Todd, you and your team over there, I met a lot of your team already, and I know you have a big team and can help a lot of folks. What all types of loans are you doing? What are some of the top misnomers that people have when it comes to lending?
Well, one of the top misperceptions, I'll speak just for VA at the moment, is veterans think that they can only use a VA home loan guarantee once. And that's not true. Mm-hmm. They can only have one primary residence at a time. However, if the veteran transfers to a new base while in active duty, or goes to retire and transfers to another place that is greater than 50 miles away from their current VA home loan, they can still use that VA guarantee and getting a second, third, and fourth home as a primary residence. I had one veteran who had retired, and when he retired, we got financing for his fourth VA home loan simultaneously, not just owning one at a time, but all 4 of them at the same time.
And that's a blessing in disguise, because when you think about it, you're able to buy a triplex or even a quad, which is 4 units with that VA certificate.
As long as you're occupying, the veteran is occupying.
Right. So if you occupy it, and then let's say, you do get transferred to another part of the country, now you use that as a rental.
Yep.
You even have a rental company that can manage it for you. And then you move to the next location, and then now you're buying 4 units again. So if that happens a couple of times to somebody, 3 or 4 times, all of a sudden they got 16 rental income properties, $0 into it, based on a down payment wise. They're probably spending some money on closing costs, et cetera.
Yep.
But wow, what an ability to, as a veteran, to be able to become a investment.
Collect the rent, have residual income. Let Brandon's team then list it and retire a millionaire in 10 years.
That's right. That's the rule. A lot of times people say, well, I'll keep this for 10 years, and then I'll know that because regardless of, let's say like an Enron, an Enron stock, or look at the guy, what was the big guy up in New York that when Bernie Siegel, or what was his
Sanders.
name? Yeah, well, no, not the politician, but the guy that had the Ponzi scheme. What was his name?
Madoff. Yes,
he made off with everyone's money, right?
Yeah.
So you look at the Ponzi schemes, the Enrons, the stocks, the volatility in the stock market. You compare that to the ability to buy real estate, to have an insurable asset, and then to know for a fact that building's going to be there, it's insured. In a worst case scenario, there's land there. That's what I think Americans are looking for, and I think that's why they call it the American dream.
It is. And let's just talk historical data to back up those, facts and figures. I mean, prior to 9/11, the lowest equity growth in the nation was New Mexico at 3% in equity growth. That's their real estate value increase.
Right.
And then that was the lowest equity growth in the nation. So if you just use that as a return on your investment in real estate as a bare minimum, you're going to end up ahead of the game and could retire within 10 years owning 10 houses, easily a millionaire.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so the veterans, we love working with vets. We will actually rebate 1/4 to 1/2 point back to the veteran with Platinum MVP Realty. I'm the owner of the company, so that's something that we do across the board, 1/4 to 1/2 point back. I know you guys have some really strong programs. Todd, Hassie, Team Hennessey, the Loan Pilots. What do you guys do for veterans?
We're offering a $500 home warranty, which is the Platinum version anything goes wrong, any cost to cure issues that happened after closing, you're covered. So it takes the fear factor in what you're investing in away.
Yeah.
So that premium home warranty is what we're offering to them, as well as a $500 credit towards their closing cost as well.
Nice. So basically, you'll pay for their appraisal, no out-of-pocket expense. Basically, they can get into the home.
100% financing. Yep. Getting up to 4% credit from the seller to cover all their closing costs.
Right.
I've had veterans receive their down payment money back at closing as they bought their new house.
Nice. So when we come back on the other side of this break, I want to ask you a question, because you hear some of these advertisers out there, some of these other mortgage companies saying, no closing costs. We're going to pay for your closing costs. Now, outside of veterans, this conventional FHA, VA, or not VA, but any other conventional type of product. I want to ask you, what's the secret behind that? Or is it true? And let's find out when we come back here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. More from our expert contributors, and stay with us. We have a feel-good story of the week. Young mom overwhelmed by people's kindness after donations pour in for life-saving surgery. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll be right back after a short break.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay, helping you win in any marketplace. That is the goal of our show. Hot listing from Platinum MVP Realty. I want to let you know about this property out in East Hillsborough County. This is 6601 Crikel Avenue in Riverview. Beautiful property. It's a delightful split-style home, and you've got 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, located in Bloomingdale area, just under 3,000 square feet, and it's a country-style lifestyle. Fenced-in backyard. You've got a 3-bay garage back there. Beautiful property listed at $325,000, just reduced. And we also, talking about these investor loans here, we were talking about investors. 4641 5th Avenue North in St. Petersburg. This is a beautiful property. It's 2 duplexes on the same lot. 4641 5th Avenue North, St. Petersburg. $500,000, and it's just listed. We just reduced it as well. And you got $4,300 in income coming in on this property. So if you want to be a landlord, this is a great one to start with. 2 duplexes on the same property, and it's going to be a great passive income property for you. Great tenants in place as well. Check out PlatinumMVPRealty.com. PlatinumMVPRealty.com. All right, so we're back here in studio. Todd Hassie's our mortgage expert here, and we're talking about loans for homeowners, for investors, different ways that you can utilize conventional financing. I want to talk later in the show about non-conforming, if there's any of those types of products out there as well. But before the break, we were talking about, you hear certain people saying, oh, well, we've got no closing cost. We're going to pay your closing cost. Is that possible? And what's going on there?
Well, let's just talk facts first. There's cost associated to every loan. You've got doc stamps, transfer taxes, all the third-party fees associated, like an appraiser has to get paid, and they get paid even outside of the closing. So meaning that it's a third-party service that has to be paid for their service to provide the fruits of their labor. Mm-hmm. So all of those are costs. So who's paying for them? Right. That nothing is for free. Right. So what happens is lenders will give what's called a lender credit, but it's based on the interest rate chosen. So let's say, for example, market currently is lower 4s. However, if I offer you the upper 4s, I'm now giving that difference of that rate back to you as a credit. However, you're really paying for it through the interest rate chosen. Right. And you're paying for it over 30 years. Correct. Which is going to compound. Cost way more than what it should have cost you. That's right. The word amortization means to die slow, in Latin, right? So when you're paying those mortgages down, you're paying, everybody knows up front, the interest is going to be, $995 worth of interest, $5 going to principal, along those lines. That's just a gross exaggeration. But, ultimately, so these folks that are running around saying they're going to pay your closing costs, it's really not possible, right? No. It's really kind of annoying. It almost appears to be a bait and switch scenario. Right. Because the costs are the costs, and there's no way around it. Those third-party fees have to be paid by somebody. And simply put, it's the cost of doing business. So it's either going to come out of your pocket, added to the loan amount and financed, or come back to you as a lender credit from the interest rate chosen. So instead of, again, offering you the best rate that is achievable, they increase the rate, and that difference in the rate gives back money towards your closing costs. And it's communicated as a lender credit. Right. And then masked further as, we'll pay your closing costs, when really you're paying it from the interest rate chosen. Yeah, it's back in the day, it used to be called yield spread premium. Correct. So that's now the terminology, the broker, that's what I was back in 01, 02, 03, for several years there. So I learned it that way, but now they're calling it a lender credit. Correct. Okay. Correct. Which is kind of deceiving, a lender credit. Credit to who? It's now an origination credit. Right, okay. Keyword being credit. Right. But this credit is coming from the interest rate being higher than what you could possibly get. Right. So bottom line is shop local, work with Team Hennessey, the loan pilots right here in Tampa Bay. Local lenders, support your local economy, and work with somebody that you can sit down with. These are folks that are going to be able to sit down with you. You make house calls. Do you guys go out and meet people at their home if you need to? Absolutely. So they'll go out and meet with you at their home. They have offices here in Tampa Bay, and they can meet you as well. So support the local economy. One of the biggest pet peeves I have is supporting these big banks. We know the big names. We don't have to say them. They pay all the money that we gave them. Taxpayers gave them money, records amounts of dollars, billions of dollars in the bailout, and ultimately now these big banks are
buying up. They bought up the best commercial properties, every single big corner that you can buy. They bought it up. They are, they're not going to be able to service you as well as a local lender can. They're going to have customer service style reps that may know a couple of products, and they're going to either fit into that box or you're not. So outside of that box, that's where your company can help them.
Absolutely.
And of course, inside the box as well.
Absolutely.
So
those big box banks that let's call it what it was, touched the TARP funds, which was the bank bailout money used to help homeowners. They have now since opened federal regulators to come in and audit them, and there's upwards of 4 different audits that go through. Start from loan application to closing. That whole process is then stretched out for what should be less than a 30-day period, is stretched out to 2 and 3 months. And I don't know about you, but trying to box up my family and time my finances so that I can close, schedule movers, and be settled in with a small window of time. I can't start with a contract date 30 days from now and end and close in 90 days.
Right. You'll lose contracts that way.
Yes.
You'll lose the buying opportunity to buy that dream home that you first of all it's a tight market. Inventory is very tight. There's not much inventory out there. And then secondly, so once you find that property, the ability to close on the contract is going to be detrimental if you go to one of these big banks.
With Team Hennessey, we can get them done in 2.5 weeks. I know personally, I've watched it happen several times.
Wow.
So this is not just something, not fluff I'm putting out there to sell somebody. I'm telling you, the process should not take more than 30 days.
That's pretty awesome.
And having a well-oiled machine or team in which to handle the processing and the underwriting and getting that loan to the finish line is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. So local lenders support your local economy. Todd Hassie, you've got Desi over there, Jim Hennessey, the great team at Team Hennessey, the loan pilots here. ConsumerQB.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors, contact information there as well. And we're going to help you win. More from Todd. I want to get to our Tell Me Something Good segment here.
Tell me something good.
So every week we want to have some positivity injection, give you something positive to think about. So we had a young mom overwhelmed by people's kindness after donations pour in for life-saving surgery. So a young mother hoping to undergo life-saving surgery says she is completely overwhelmed by the public's response to an appeal for help. Zandra Meany, 33 from Ireland, is trying to raise $120,000 to undergo urgent brain and neurosurgery in Barcelona for the side effects of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, EDS. So a group of inherited disorders that affect the skin, joints, and blood vessels. She's been told that the surgery is urgent as for her condition is so advanced. Meany's story was published in the Irish news website Independent IE on Wednesday. Within 24 hours, more than half of the $120,000 has been raised by donations on a GoFundMe page. And the donations have just been amazing, Meany said. We were totally overwhelmed by people's kindness. And Meany and her mother, Dorothy, wept when they realized how she had been, that she had a fighting chance now. So she wants to thank the Cherrick and to be seen growing up around him. She said it was wonderful. Every mother wants to see their child just to be around them. This is such a wonderful, brave boy, and I want to thank and be there for him. So our feel-good story of the week, good story, over in Ireland, I guess.
That was fantastic, yeah.
Yeah. The GoFundMe site is just amazing.
You could actually use that for down payment and closing costs.
Good point.
So, it's, when it comes to where your money comes from in a mortgage, it's all about, prevention of money laundering, sourcing where those funds come from, making sure that a buyer did not go and establish more debt to get that loan.
Right.
So sourcing the funds is always, it's always, shaky ground. But you can actually do the GoFundMe account and apply those funds towards closing costs and down payment.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So does that count as the borrower's own funds?
It does.
Because people donated through...
It's the same as gift funds.
Gift funds, okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Wow. Very cool. So if you're renting out there, think about this. So if you're renting and you're paying rent and you got a good family base and friends and family, why don't you print out some business cards, start a page and promote it on your Facebook page. Hey, here's my GoFundMe page. I want to stop renting and start raising money.
That's it.
Wow.
Yep.
Interesting. What a great world we live in here, huh?
Now that's new. That you couldn't do that maybe 2 years ago. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's the first time I heard of it.
It touches on what you were leading into, which is the non-QM products.
Yeah, the non-qualified. About a minute left. Any other products available out there that outside, kind of those non-prime loans?
Yeah. What's fantastic is we can now do up to 90% financing bank deposit to show sources of income for a self-employed person.
Sure. Bank statement loans shows the income coming in.
All personal self-employed folks, we all want to play Uncle Sam less than we really need to.
That's right.
So, and after all those deductions, we end up making zero.
Yep.
Well, we can look at the bank statements. What the money it goes in as deposits is the money we're going to use as your your income.
Are you going to take the full 100%, or is it something like 75%?
It's analyzed individually.
Okay.
But 100% of the deposits, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. Yeah, 100%.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So regardless of what you're showing Uncle Sam, Team Hennessey here, the loan pilots, they're going to be able to take your bank statements showing the deposits, add that number up. That's your income that they're going to use on your loan product. Self-employed borrowers, yep. So it makes sense. You know, people are bringing in cash, they're writing stuff off, they're getting creative with their accounting, and you know, who is us? Who are we to say, you know, how you're breaking that down? All right, so hey, Todd Hassie, great job today on the Consumer Quarterback Show. James Arthur Ray had a great first show segment there as well. Consumer Quarterback Show. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Something as simple as packing up some food you have, carrying it with you to and from your commute, and handing it to that person that you see in need. Be a force for good in the community. Follow us online, Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter. And, of course, we have the public profiles as well on Facebook at facebook.com, Quarterback Show as well online. So we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.